Hello, my name is Michelle. I am a registered nurse in the Family Nurse Practitioner program, and I will be presenting the Strengths Finder presentation. We'll start with the introduction. Some key points are identifying what kind of leader we are, and this is based off of completing an assessment that gives us our strengths and weaknesses and how to apply them to our practice. So, identifying what kind of leader we are as individuals is important when considering a position of hierarchy. For this presentation, we took an assessment to assist with identifying what our personal strengths and weaknesses are. Having this information helps identify our strengths and weaknesses so we can capitalize on the strengths and be aware of the weaknesses so we can learn from them and continue to grow. Throughout this presentation, I will be discussing what my results were, what they mean, and how I can apply them to everyday practice in my personal life, or again, in the practice of becoming a family nurse practitioner. So we'll start with the top 5 themes. The top 5 themes that I was given based on my results were achiever, realtor, arranger, responsibility, and strategic. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to take a drink. Um, an achiever is a hard worker that has a great amount of stamina while finding um, enjoyment in being busy and productive. This usually means that we end up working long work hours and we really strive to reach our goals no matter what it takes. We're also good at taking problems that arise and breaking them down by considering all aspects that could be a viewpoint to the problem, um, or different things that could have caused this problem to arise. This also allows us to be transparent and find good in people with these problematic matters that arise. So if one of the issues is with an employee or a colleague, team, somebody on the team, trying to be optimistic and find the good in what is ever is coming up as an issue. Realtors really enjoy close relationships with others and find deep satisfaction in working hard with friends to achieve goals. We really enjoy spending time with our close friends as it allows us to do well in work environments, and it also requires us to be social in work settings. So, again, kind of like with that achiever, when problems arise, trying to see all different aspects. So, that could include working with colleagues or coworkers and trying to get a good understanding of um, what's going on in the workplace and have a good understanding. It's really important for us as well to make time for our friends within our schedule. This helps us find that satisfaction within work, and adhering to setting our goals and feeling accomplished as we're having those two separate times of kind of decompression with your close friends and being back to those strict goals and making sure we're getting done what we want to accomplish. An arranger has the ability to organize, but we're also really flexible. These complement each other really well because with organization, a lot of times it's usually like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, very strict on how people want things to be. That's not really realistic. So the fact that we can be flexible in certain situations is really beneficial for us, especially when we're striving to get those goals met and complete projects in our home life or at work. We also aim for maximum productivity by determining how all pieces and resources can be arranged. In some situations where schedules may not go as planned, we are able to kind of go with the flow or change along the way. So again, kind of back to that organization example of things not going directly as planned or exactly as planned, we are able to be adjustable and still maintain our goals with those issues that may come across our table. We are also able to work with individuals that we may not necessarily care about um, and set our feelings aside to get the job done. And kind of, like I said, in other examples of if a person, if if there's an issue with the person that comes up and we try to find the good in them, it's kind of the same thing with this as well. Trying to find that good in a person or what makes them different from others, to be able to get through the fact that you may not really like them and still focus on getting the job done. Um, Responsibility, we like to take ownership of what we say and do. We're committed to values consistent with honesty and loyalty, which at times can make it really hard for us to rely on others. We really like sticking to our word once we give it to someone, regardless of there being a deadline date or just showing up for something. When we follow through or keep our words with these situations, it's really a fulfilling satisfaction and pleasure feeling, which is also why we prefer to work independently, so we know that we're able to follow through with whatever it is that we say we're going to do. Alrighty, I apologize. So this is not letting me go back. So I'm just going to piggyback. There was just one more theme that I needed to go over from the last slide, and that is strategic. And we're strategic by finding ways to proceed, even if it means finding alternative ways. We easily find relevant issues and patterns with any given scenario. Because of this, we are able to we often find our minds wandering to prepare ourselves for what may happen next, or to find creative ways to find a solution for the issue at hand. We do this by being prepared and allows us some peace by not feeling overwhelmed should things take a change or turn off course. So that takes us to the top two domains. So the first domain is executing. The second one is relationship building. So the first one, executing, themes, excuse me, help us make things happen. So the themes that go with this domain is achiever, arranger, and responsibility. And the relationship building are themes that help us build strong relationships that hold the team together. And this is the realtor. As a as an executing achiever, there is a want and need to feel the need to do more. So we always have to do something that makes us feel accomplished daily, to feel good about ourselves or that we have been productive. But we don't often look for acknowledgement once we complete a task. If it's something that's in the past, then we don't typically mind some praise for what we have done. For the arranger, we enjoy managing multiple tasks and ensuring to have the best production outcomes. We are flexible but aim for perfection to accomplish these projects or goals. As a responsibility, we take ownership of anything that we are committed to and follow through until we see it completed. We are fulfilled by the joy of keeping our word and not letting people down. As a realtor within the relationship building theme, we are drawn to others we already know. However, we do find being around our close friends pleasurable, and do enjoy meeting new people. So it doesn't mean that we're closed off to not being open to meeting new people and allowing them to be potential close friends at some point. But that time to be around the close friends is something that we really enjoy. How will our top strengths allow us to make an impact as a leader? So we are hard workers and have high stamina, um, which allows us to take satisfaction in being busy and productive. So that again is seeing a project through until it's completed. We enjoy close relationships with others, so we really enjoy teamwork and working together to get that job completed. Being organized, flexible, and productivity that allows us to pull the leg weight to get the job done, meaning that there is a outline of what needs to be done and what steps, so it's clear and concise for everybody to understand what needs to be done to consider that task or project to be done. We stick to our words, so if we say we're going to do something, we are going to do it, which is a very strong skill to have, asset to leaders, because it's oftentimes if people get stuck or hit a roadblock that it's easy to kind of fall off track with what it is that the project is and getting to that end date, and just being honest and loyal to the people that are helping us, and the people that we also have to answer to in regards to doing any projects or um, even any changes in the family practitioner world, with colleagues, if there's new practice standards and such, making sure that we're getting the word out to people. Being creative, we find multiple ways and different ways to go forth with project ideas, and really good at identifying issues and finding ways to get around those issues, or roadblocks to again see through those deadline dates and stick to those deadlines and our word. My bottom five themes were adaptability. Excuse me, my mouth is not working anymore. Adaptability, command, analytical, maximizer, and context. So adaptability. The first one are those who prefer to go with the flow and take things as they come. Command are of those that like to take the lead and control situations and make decisions. Analytical are of those that focus on reason and cause. So instead of focusing on one or two details, they tend to focus on the whole picture. Maximizers are similar to perfectionists. The focus is on the strengths of the team's excellence to bring them up a notch with their performance. Context are of those that enjoy thinking of the past and believe the present is based on the history. All right, so the bottom two domains for me are strategic thinking and influencing. So the two themes of strategic thinking were analytic and context, and maximizer and command fell under influencing for me. So strategic thinkers make decisions based on information that is absorbed and analyzed. So I guess a good example would be if there's no research out there, it's absorbed by the community. For example, if it's based on a vaccine for side effects, effectiveness, things like that, and then analyzed based on those results. And then influencers are of those of dominance and likes to have a voice for themselves, and others to ensure that everyone is heard, which I was actually surprised about that I didn't have that as a top one, because I feel that I am a big advocate for myself and others. But I guess based off of the assessment, it just kind of depends on the situation. Things that I can do to improve my bottom strengths would be to plan, prepare, have some knowledge, teamwork, and just do it. So planning as this helps keep the path going forward and time to determine if there are other scenarios that can fit this situation. Also practicing explaining the process um, kind of out loud prior to making a decision to make sure that all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted to show that other alternatives were considered, that it wasn't just a one-man show with the decision. Um, Knowing and understanding weaknesses can help prevent them get in the way. Asking for help when needed and support as well, and not overthinking things, just jumping in and getting it done. So, those were my results for the Strength Finder assessment. Um, so, as an individual, that resulted in achiever, realtor, arranger, responsible and strategic as my strengths. I think that it is imperative that I utilize these and maximize these as a leader for the reasons and the presentation. Knowing where the cons can fall into play with these strengths, it will assist in minimizing how those can occur or arise in a workplace or everyday life. And having these strengths will allow me to strive in my daily endeavors as well as future goals. So thank you for listening to my results of the assessment. Have a nice night.